Imagine walking into your own business, pretending to be a regular customer, only to hear your employees whisper and laugh at you behind your back. That's exactly what happened when a successful black CEO decided to go undercover at her own car dealership. She wanted to see firsthand how her team treated customers and whether the values she worked so hard to build were being honored. What she didn't expect was the shocking behavior of one manager, whose disrespectful mocking went far beyond harmless jokes. From the moment she stepped in, the tension was palpable. Her carefully planned disguise allowed her to witness the real attitudes and biases hiding under polite smiles. The CEO, known for her sharp instincts and keen business sense, watched quietly as the manager belittled employees and doubted her own company's standards. What started as a simple check-in quickly spiraled into a series of events that would shake the dealership to its core. As the day unfolded, whispers turned to bold actions, and the CEO realized she had uncovered something far bigger than she imagined. By the time she revealed her true identity, the fallout was about to explode and the manager's fate hung in the balance. What happened next would leave everyone stunned. The CEO hadn't planned this undercover visit lightly. For months, she had been hearing subtle complaints from customers and employees alike, concerns that something wasn't right at the dealership. Reports of favoritism, ignored safety protocols, and poor customer service had started piling up. And she knew that to protect her brand and her team, she needed to see the truth with her own eyes. She chose a day when the dealership was busiest, thinking it would reveal the real character of her staff under pressure, disguised with a simple change in clothing and a low profile. She entered the showroom, noting every detail, the way the receptionist greeted her, how salespeople approached her, and most importantly, how the manager treated both staff and customers. It was clear quickly that he thought no one was watching. His mocking remarks and dismissive gestures were not just unprofessional, they were cruel. Employees tried to ignore him, but the CEO could see the fear and frustration in their eyes as she moved from department to department, observing interactions and jotting mental notes. She realized the problem was bigger than a single employee. The culture he was fostering could quietly destroy everything she had built. And yet, she still had to wait for the right moment to confront him. Tension hung heavy in the air, and every passing minute made the impending confrontation feel inevitable. As the day went on, the CEO noticed patterns she hadn't expected. The manager's behavior wasn't just directed at employees, he subtly undermined customers too, steering some toward cheaper options while praising others for no clear reason. She realized this wasn't just arrogance. It was a deeper problem rooted in favoritism and control. The employees she had trusted were caught between fear and loyalty, unsure if speaking up would cost them their jobs. She watched a young salesperson freeze as the manager berated her over a minor mistake. And in that moment, the CEO felt a mix of anger and sadness. This was her team, and they deserved better. Meanwhile, the manager remained oblivious to the CEO's true identity. He bragged about his management style to a coworker, mocking the idea of accountability and making jokes that crossed the line between playful and cruel. Other staff members whispered nervously among themselves, sharing glances that spoke volumes about the toxic environment that had been quietly building for months. The CEO also started noticing subtle signs that the manager had been manipulating records, bending rules, and covering up complaints to protect himself. Each discovery added layers to the conflict, showing that this was more than a personality clash, it was a threat to the integrity of the entire dealership. Every step she took brought her closer to exposing the truth, but she had to be careful. One wrong move and the situation could spiral out of control. The tension in the showroom was almost unbearable, and the stage was set for a confrontation that no one would forget. By mid-afternoon, the tension in the dealership had reached a breaking point. The CEO, still in disguise, moved through the showroom with careful observation, every interaction adding to the growing storm in her mind. She could see the fear in her employees' eyes and the arrogance in the manager's smile, and she knew that exposing the truth would shake the very foundation of the team. Every word he spoke carried weight, not just in authority, but in intimidation, and it was clear he believed he was untouchable. A particularly tense moment came when a loyal employee accidentally dropped a key document in front of the manager. His reaction was sharp and mocking, drawing laughter from a few nearby staff who clearly felt trapped between siding with him and standing up for what was right. The CEO felt a surge of frustration. This was her business, her vision, and yet it seemed like a part of it had been hijacked by someone who had no respect for her or the team. She followed him into his office under the pretense of asking a question, heart racing as she listened to him boast about how easy it was to run things his way and dismiss complaints from both customers and staff. Every word confirmed what she had feared. The manager's influence had grown dangerously unchecked, and the damage was deeper than anyone realized. She knew that when the truth came out, it would be explosive, but how and when to confront him without causing chaos was a delicate balance. The dealership held its collective breath, unaware that a revelation was about to turn their world upside down. Just when the CEO thought she had a clear picture of the manager's deception, a shocking discovery threw everything into chaos. While reviewing sales records and customer complaints under the guise of asking questions, She noticed discrepancies that suggested the manager had been secretly diverting high-value deals to a competitor. The betrayal cut deeper than she expected. This wasn't just about disrespect or toxic behavior anymore. It was deliberate sabotage. Her mind raced. Could he have been quietly undermining the dealership for months, maybe even profiting from it? The employees she had been quietly observing seemed relieved when she left the room. Unaware that she had uncovered something far bigger than anticipated, she realized that exposing him would not only affect his job but could also risk the dealership's reputation and financial stability. Meanwhile, continued his antics, oblivious to the fact that his carefully constructed facade was about to crumble. He flaunted his control over the team, mocked minor mistakes, and seemed more confident than ever, reinforcing the toxic culture he had cultivated. With each passing hour, the stakes grew higher. The CEO's plan to reveal the truth now carried more weight than ever. One wrong move could escalate the situation beyond repair. Every glance, every whispered conversation, every subtle act of sabotage added layers to the tension, making the impending confrontation unavoidable. The scene was set, and the moment of reckoning loomed closer than anyone realized. The moment finally arrived. The CEO, shedding her disguise, stepped into the showroom with a calm authority that immediately silenced the chatter. The manager froze, a smug grin on his face fading as he recognized her. Gasps rippled through the employees, some in shock, others in relief, and the tension that had been building for hours reached a fever pitch. She calmly laid out the evidence she had gathered: the mocking behavior, the favoritism, the mishandling of customers, and most damning of all, the deliberate diversion of high-value deals. The manager tried to deflect, insisting he was just doing his job, but the proof was undeniable. Employees who had felt powerless finally spoke up, sharing their experiences and frustrations. The CEO listened carefully, validating their courage and making it clear that the culture of fear and disrespect would no longer be tolerated. In front of the entire team, she terminated the manager on the spot, sending a strong message about accountability, integrity, and respect. But just as the room began to breathe again, the CEO revealed a final twist. The sabotage had been orchestrated not only by the manager, but with the secret assistance of a high-ranking executive who had been quietly plotting to take over the dealership. The revelation shocked everyone, leaving the team realizing that rebuilding trust and restoring the company's values would take more than just one decision. It would be a fight for the soul of the business.